Welcome to the fourth Lightning Talk event put on by the team at KEEZ. The premise here is to give community members a 5-minute spotlight to talk about whatever they want in whatever medium they prefer. With these Lightning Talks and ultimately KEEZ in general, we are trying to set up an environment where information and knowledge is constantly being shared and dispersed. Come and share because your words may spark inspiration in the minds of others and drive new innovation in the LUKSO ecosystem. We're aiming to do these weekly and constantly switch times around so people in other time zones can participate. These talks will be recorded and posted on our YouTube after. If you're a presenter and don't want your talk published, that's fine. Just let me know and we can edit you out. As always, feedback is welcome. If you have any opinions about how we may be able to do these better moving forward, do not hesitate to reach out. Quick disclaimer. People may choose to use this time to talk about a project they're working on or something they may have invested in. KEEZ does not endorse anything brought up in these chats, and as always, do your own research. That applies with clicking any links or anything that may be thrown in the chat during these as well. Today we have 5 people scheduled, including myself. At the end of it all, if you're in the crowd and feel inspired to come and talk, let me know. We can definitely get you up here. And if you have any questions during the talks, feel free to hit the chats and ask these guys questions. We're going to have Sleepy go first. Sleepy, how are you, man?
Thank you. Thank you so much, KEEZ, for having me and hosting these for everybody else. Pretty awesome. So my name is CryptoSign. I couldn't actually sign in through my Twitter to be in my account. I am in the channel under that account too, if you guys wanted to check out my Twitter. I've been working on Sleepy for a little over 2 years now. Our main mission is to basically just empower our community in every type of facet that we can. Right now, we are focusing on sleep-related products. This includes, physicals, hardware, software. We're just like trying to, do research and development in every type of section that we can. When it comes to uh, how do I say it? Like when it comes to the usage of IP, I've noticed in this space, like there's a lot of how do I say it? There's a lot of things in the way of being able to actually utilize it and monetize off of it. And so one thing that like we really have a high focus on for our characters is being able to have all the file types ready without really having the necessities of understanding how to use them. So with us, we will have like our characters will already have the AR kits to blend and blend shapes for the 3D models for those who want a VTube or um, let's say for the Vision Pro now, like, you can have like your own virtual companion, stuff like that. But yeah, so our main thing at Sleepy is just to promote, enable, reward good, healthy sleeping habits. That's going to be our main mission target. Um, that that's going to be like our long-term goal though. Short term, like I said, we're trying to empower our community, empower creators in this space, and empower gamers, VTubers. There's a lot of these new people coming into this space, and the assets aren't really available for them to do these types of things that they want to do with when they are um, how do I say it? Like when they are trying to become their IP, when they're trying to use that as their branding. We think it's very important that everybody also has, access to any types of files that they may need. For starting, if you take a look at our artwork, you'll see that we are a 2D artwork, but our 2D artwork will be 2D VTubed, and we will have the 3D files accessible. I believe we'll have them accessible through the Volts team. They have an awesome server going on with 3D files, and they'll allow us the capabilities of being able to choose between VRMs, FBX, GLBs, stuff like that. So that's that's mostly like what we're trying to work on, is trying to empower the people within our community in just any type of way that that we can within Web3, whether that be from healthy sleeping habits, their IP rights, possibly even education. We're working on like certain types of videos that help with security, help with understanding certain chains, help with understanding certain things within within 3D and AR. So we're really trying to make sure that the people within our community really feel that empowerment. I wish I could see the chat in here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to see if there might be any questions going on. But
doesn't look like there's a whole lot of questions here,
okay,
Sleepy.
cool. I'm trying to like scroll. My phone is like so bad at on this site.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it doesn't look like you got any questions. Very interesting, though. I think when it comes to like NFT projects or PFP projects, it's all about creating something that people relate to, right? And as we all know, everybody sleeps, right? So I think that's a cool angle that you're going after there.
Yeah, most definitely. That's like one thing that like really came to my mind. It's like what is something that I feel that everybody feels, you know, what is something that everybody can feel attached to? And yeah, Sleepy was definitely definitely it. Actually, what we got a big inspiration from was in the beginning. I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with the movie The Ring, but like she has like this long dark hair in front of her face, and you know, she never sleeps. In my eyes, she's like the ultimate sleepy girl, you know? Like, I don't know. But yeah, that's like where it like first started, like almost 3 years ago. It's crazy now.
Nice. Well, appreciate the talk. Oh, there we go. That's your 5 minutes. If you want to close on anything, feel free. If not, we can bring Carlos up here.
No, I appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, KEEZ.
Of course. Thanks for coming again. Oh, he jumped down. Look at that. All right, Carlos, how are you?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, all good.
Awesome. Yeah, doing great, Sage. Thanks for having me here again. Just wanted to come by and give everyone an update on our relaunch from LEEQUID and a couple of messages too. So I'll start by saying that we had quite a lot of adherence to our relaunch. We've had nearly 1 million licks staked within the last week, give or take. I can tell you that the queue right now is around 20 days to get to the end of it. So the last stakers, that's roughly what they would expect to wait from today. We also want to let you guys know we've had like half a dozen users, like 5 or 6 users who had issues with the claims page. We have already determined that that's related to the UP browser extension. We are actually coordinating with LUKSO, and we'll probably deploy a fix soon. Not a big deal, like I said, like 5 or 6 people, but it's always important to keep everyone up to date. We're very happy with our APY, to be honest. Yesterday we were at like 10% APY for the last 7 days, which is kind of insane compared to home stakers and everyone. But you know, that's how liquid staking works. We have quite a big share of the pool, so we're obviously going to be getting a higher share of rewards. What else can I tell you guys? So we've been working with quite a few names ever since I came here the last time in terms of staking providers. LUKSO has also been kind enough to introduce us to a few, so you guys will probably hear about that in the coming like days or so. And yeah, and for LEEQUID, that's basically most of it that I wanted to share with you guys. You can see on our webpage that we also announced a couple of things like the early adopter program, the liquidity incentives. We'll be coming out with information on this pretty soon. Especially the early adopters program. We want to reward the people that have been staking with us since day one, or anyone for that matter. But there are variables that will be taken into account when we calculate how we reward these users. Some progress been done on the DAO side as well, although that's not been the priority at the moment. And lastly, we have a global metrics page that's coming soon, a very, very comprehensive metrics page where you guys will be able to see all different kinds of metrics for the staking pool, for the liquidity pool, and as for LUKSO as well. Yeah, from my side, that's mostly it. I won't be giving away too much information yet. I want to take this opportunity to answer questions if anyone has them. I don't think so. Let me take a look real quick here at the chat. Is Liquid using an in-house Oracle system? If yes, how do you maintain it? Yeah. So, Presto, good question. We do use an in-house Oracle system, mostly because at the moment there are no Oracle providers on LUKSO yet. So instead of going with a white label solution, we're using our own solution. We actually have a cloud architect that's very capable and helps us with that. Although in parallel with our indexing service, we will also release an Oracle service for projects coming onto LUKSO. This is also in part due to the institutional partners that we're talking with who have a need for it. And yeah, maybe we'll open that up and make it into a DAO or decentralize it in some form. I mean, decentralizing the node operators was quite a big step for us. Like you guys probably know, we forked Stakewise. We already implemented like a lot of upgrades compared to them. You know, we had the auto compounding coming in. The node operators themselves are another one. So, you know, we're going fast, but we're going fast carefully, if you know what I mean. Let me see. Should we ask the graph? We actually, Axolotl, we actually spoke with them a while ago, like really a while ago, like a year or so, for when Drops was going to start with a marketplace. Because we needed, you know, the service that they provide, the indexing service, but they want to wait and see how LUKSO fares when other projects, you know, before they join, they want to see what other projects come in, and that's actually the main reason that motivated us to create the indexing service for ourselves. Anyone working on getting stable? That's not for me. Any news on tier one? That's about it. So yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, guys. So thank you, Sage, again for having me. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Guys, hop onto our Discord or Telegram. We're happy to discuss with you. Thanks.
Cool. Thanks for coming again, Carlos. Great to hear from you. Anytime you'd like, feel free. Cool to hear you're trying to reward the early adopters too. That's always great. Okay. I'm going to break up those two with my own Lightning Talk. I'm Sage, your Lightning Talk host and core contributor at KEEZ. This week, I'm going to talk about making blockchain social. So this Lightning Talk was sparked from a conversation with Heisenberg and Jan about reputation systems. There's a chat in the KEEZ Common Ground. If you haven't seen it, there's been some great discussion in the past couple days. We were talking about the process of issuing attestations individual to individual at one point. Think of the example of, I think Rob is a trustworthy individual, having the ability to easily create something like a rep token saying that, and then attach it to his profile would be very cool for Rob and the entire ecosystem potentially. However, attestations between individuals is arguably the most complex for social reasonings. It's a lot easier to say, like, Carlos just came and spoke on this Lightning Talk. Let's give him a token that represents that for his reputation, right? That's a fact. It's not debatable. Something like this, there's a lot of intricacies that come with it. Now, what are some of those considerations to be made? What if something negative that wasn't true was said about Rob, right? Like, what if someone came on and said he wasn't trustworthy, which I would have opinions about that. What if someone said something inaccurate about an individual trying to game the system, right? Someone is not trustworthy, yet someone is saying they are, right? Because having some sort of attestation like that gets them access to something they're looking for. Or what if people strongly agreed or disagreed with, again, either one of those statements right there? Being able to express that would be an awesome functionality to this. So if this data was just still, per se, on chain, it may be hard to gather other opinions or give any context to it, right? This idea then expanded into a social feed where attestations could be created or viewed, and you could very easily thumb up or thumb down any of these attestations, right? I then naturally thought about this in relation to governance because that seems to be where my brain goes with every single topic. If this was as easy as liking a tweet in order to participate in governance, we could potentially help relieve voter apathy issues, right? People scroll their timeline for hours Of course, they would participate more if during that scrolling, their relevant proposals just appeared across their face without them even looking for them. Even further, if the social feed also had this social graph of attestations, as explained before, you could very well create schemes for reputation-based governance directly in the app. For those of you that have been to the past 3 Lightning talks, you'll know what I think about that. I think that would be awesome. With Faircaster gaining so much traction these days, we can already see that people are interested in blockchain-based social media, right? Same thing with Lens as well. Faircaster actually recently included this new functionality called Frames, which enables developers to build interactive Web3 experiences directly into the social feed. So you can create a minting experience. So you're just scrolling on your timeline and you can just go mint an NFT from your timeline. Awesome, as you guys definitely know, being in this chat. I could see a world where you're scrolling a social feed after connecting your universal profile and you're seeing friends posts, governance proposals, news updates, funding rounds that you could potentially participate in, reputation attestations like we discussed before, with all of this activity being compiled into your profile and working to create a large-scale, robust set of information that furthers your reputation. You'd have proof of donations, proof of governance participation, proof of attestations to our community members, proof of friendship even. And I think that this could really create some fun and unique scenarios. I am on Faircaster having fun over there. If any of you guys are, my name is Improvda, which was my Twitter. They are making it a little bit easier to be able to join these days. As I see people are saying you need an invite. You kind of just DM some of their founders and you can get one, but I'm pretty sure that they just made it a lot more, yeah, see, Tanto said, they just made it a lot more seamless to be able to join because they're getting so many daily users. But yeah, I think it's a great concept, and because you're still connecting to Faircaster with a MetaMask, all that information is kind of siloed there. And if it was connected to universal profiles, you might be able to transfer it around and utilize it in different ways, which I think would be interesting. Let me see if we got any comments here. We got people talking about the Rob token. Positive test attestations only. That's a great point by Tonto. Again, as I said in the talk, like this idea of personal attestations peer-to-peer can get very dark very quickly, which is something Squigs brought up in the chat and KEEZ. Positive attestations only would be a great way to potentially go around that. But then you'd run into like, why are you even making attestations in the first place? It would be, I mean, one of the reasoning would be to help keep bad actors out. If you can only make positive ones, I guess if nobody has any positive ones, you can infer that there would be only negative ones there. Are you, Eth, are you making fun of me because I'm calling it Faircaster, not Farcaster? LOL. Yeah, I think that you can just download the app now on the App Store and sign up. If not, yeah, see, free with an American phone number from Florian. Okay, cool. That's my talk. We're going to get now Marcus up here. Marcus, there you are, raising your hand. Promote to speaker. How are you, Marcus? How's your day going? Cannot hear the man. Your mic is muted. Marcus, hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's going on?
I'm on the screen too. Okay.
There you are.
Yeah, thanks, Sage, for letting me speak, and thank you guys for having me here. I guess I will just jump straight into it, shall I?
Stage
Good.
is all yours.
So there are 3 things that I would like to talk about today. Who we are and what do we do? What have we done and our main pay point? Who are we? Who is Mustaa? And you may previously know us as Meteor Studio, where we were trying to design a yacht, build it, and utilize Web3 technology. But after speaking to a lot of people, the KEEZ core, LUKSO fam, including obviously some faces here, and people in the yachting community, we found that the idea was really confused. It was complex and it didn't make sense ultimately. And again, ultimately, it wasn't going to help onboard millions of people to the LUKSO network. However, the technology that we were thinking of, authenticating designs, fractional ownership, creating DApps for ocean monitoring hardware, DApps for yacht surveys, all made sense and was valuable to a market that is desperately trying to adopt digitalization. Is the webcam blacked out? Okay. A fun fact that I learned in the Dusseldorf boat show was the German government doesn't even know how many boats are registered in the country. And so I asked the question, how can a maritime industry evolve to be sustainable if the foundational data like that is not accessible for everybody? So now we are Mustaa. What we are doing is creating a marketplace specifically for boats, where the foundation of all of these ideas are universal profiles for yachts. But making a marketplace alone for these ideas isn't enough to pull people into the LUKSO network. There has to be a reason for yacht builders to use us. And this is where we want to separate ourselves from the current offerings of yacht marketplaces, utilizing 3D configurators, virtual reality assets. All of these become exciting for builders, and having the ability to authenticate design using LUKSO. So that addresses a major secrecy issue in the yachting market. If you imagine a yacht design and its performance is directly correlated to its hull shape, its weight, all of these items. And if you lose that as a yacht builder, you lose the ability to separate yourself from other yachts, which ultimately is a luxury product. So what have we accomplished so far? We have a basic marketplace in place, and of course that gets redesigned consistently and constantly. Usman, the dev for us, my friend, is learning to integrate LUKSO standards for this marketplace. We have applied for a UK government grant, which we hear back from on Friday, specifically targeting ocean futures. We have 4 yacht builders wanting to join us with 1 signed agreement, which is really exciting. And actually, we have a conversation with one of the most popular yacht builders in the world on Friday. And so we are getting a little bit of traction here and there. And of course, we're excited for all of these developments. But ultimately, and this is sparked by something that I attended recently, there was a networking event called Super Connectors, where the premise was startup founders would stand on stage and in their most vulnerable state told them what was going wrong. And the audience would then offer advice and offer help where needed. And I really enjoyed that concept. It was really, amazing. For us, speed is our issue, and maybe it's actually more patience for developing, as you can all imagine. And we really want to launch before the Monaco Yacht Show in September. But the question that we have is, how good will our product be when we do launch? And so I would then just like to ask all of you guys, the LUKSO fam, maybe you're interested in learning about a new niche industry. Maybe you'd like to come up with solutions for automotive markets and would like to help us out. If so, then please reach out to me on Twitter, Discord, Common Ground, all these social media places, Faircaster, it doesn't matter. And so I would just like to then finish with this. there are 340 accredited yacht builders in the world. There's only 340. It is the most valuable outdoor recreational market, again, in the world, including hiking, including climbing, including all of these aspects. And we want all of these yacht builders and their networks to be utilizing LUKSO and hopefully through Mustaa. Thank you.
Great talk, Marcus. We love a nice rebrand. We love being able to adapt on the fly. Congrats on being able to speak and getting some interest. I look forward to continuing to follow along like we have this whole time.
Cool. Thanks.
Of course. It seems like you got one question there too, Marcus, if you're still up here.
What is the question?
Any interest in the fishing world of the boat people aside from yachts, like other types of boating?
Absolutely. When we talk about yachts, I'm talking about all boats. That includes pontoon boats, that includes sailing boats, that includes catamarans, fishing boats. The market is ready for us with universal profiles for yachts, indeed.
Nice. Very cool. All right, Marcus, great to hear from you. We'll get Axolotl up here. Axolotl, hello, how are you?
Hi, guys. Okay, first, it's great to have kind of a community all together. Quick background to me. So the project is just run by me, and it's basically was an experiment and kind of was growing a little bit unexpected. I'm myself in LUKSO since the RICO, basically the reverse ICO. What was interesting for me on the whole ecosystem was because I am a person which was early in blockchain where there were no creatives. And when I showed a proposal from LUKSO, I found it very interesting. Was very much looking forward to these universal profiles because for me, one of the biggest challenges is always how to board on people from outside the ecosystem and show them what is going on. I had this idea, which is now called Axolotl Friends. Like I think somewhere like before Christmas, but over Christmas I was then starting and playing around, and got the thing going. So what is Axolotl Friends? Basically, it's kind of an experiment which I started, and it's a cute character, which basically the main idea is to promote the widespread of the community of LUKSO outside the existing community, and also just a platform where I try out different things. I don't know if you've seen, I used recently some videos to make like a go build song, and to clarify it, because I got like a tons of direct messages. No, I'm not affiliated with the, how do I call it, the token? No, the Titan guys. So to make that clear. And basically, yeah, for me, it's like this. It's an interesting experiment. I looked as well into the ecosystem. I have some data. Basically, for me, the ecosystem now exists of, we have universal pages, the common ground, and Twitter. That's kind of the core ecosystem around it. What I also found in terms of growth, so it's interesting. So the community on LUKSO seems to be very tight connected to each other, but until a certain stage you can grow and can reach, but otherwise you're kind of stuck. I mean, my experience was so far, the account was growing up until around 726 followers within a period of 28 days, which only had around 40 plus tweets, total impressions around $100,000. On Common Ground, also so interesting, people use the platform. I had already like a chat with Florian about that. And it's really great what he's trying and how he's listening to the community of the feedback. So we have a very nice ecosystem here. But there are a little bit of challenges. I mean, I can quick go into it. Some of the people know we have this so-called 33 angel status. There's more information about this on the website. It was basically a special status for the people which early contributed, but it's floating. So if people are not participating, for example, submitting their address and participating in the mint, they will get swept out as well. So I would like to experiment a little bit what can be done with communities, because you have seen normally communities are dying. Yeah, what we are doing, we have seen a lot of people, they do extremely large drops. For us, it's more like we do a very small drop. It will be 888 pieces at 0.8 per price. I mean, I have seen people trying now to do extremely large drops with thousands of pictures, but I think the community is at the moment not at the stage where it makes sense. And also to, I think, it's a little bit of a different when someone comes in a community and wants to do a drop, and in equally, if you compare it in US dollars, gets $200,000, $300,000. It looks also to a little bit of exploitive, to be honest. That's my kind of experience. And also to, I think one of the biggest challenges, what I see, I mean, we have further ideas as well. So we have basically generation 0, then the character which I'm using now, which is basically a 2D character. And we also experimented around with 3D functionalities. I myself was very heavily involved as well with crypto voxels, which is now called voxels. I don't know if any of you guys know this one. So I always like this voxel-based characters and cute characters, let's say it this way. Yeah, what can you do as well? We have, so basically it's basically at the moment I'm doing this as a side project and more like as a recreational project. I mean, there are ideas for doing basically derivatives, merging the avatars together, using other pixel artists to do custom backgrounds and stuff like this. But there are actually a couple of ideas, and there's no clear roadmap later on, but it's a little bit also about what the community feedbacks. I mean, recently I just used new technologies like AI and all the stuff to make, for example, these songs. Maybe there's more of this in that direction. So I'm just experimenting around with NFT creative content as a how to say that, as a research project, but also doing something with it. So conclusion so far is the challenge is definitely to attract people from the outside. So I'm myself very active in more like different networks like Ethereum. So I'm like a little bit long in the internet. So I don't like Solana stuff like this, but that's just a personal taste. And for me, it's just like I'm seeing even boarding on my friends which are in Ethereum into LUKSO is a little bit like, okay, what do I need to do? And MetaMask, why it's called EVM, but why do you need the universal? And the interesting experience I had, yes, it's easy to board on, but it still needs some time to be in. So for someone which is in the space, they're just used now to switch the RPC and they are in. And now they need to go through a whole onboarding process. But yeah, that's how it is. Other things, as I mentioned, large drops will not work. And, we all know that. I think some of the people which kind of pinged out to me, which I do other collections, which wanted to collapse, and I said no. They were seeing the chill whales were doing a nice drop, but they haven't understood that the chill whales was basically from the core community, which is in LUKSO since a very long time. And there's a different affinity towards that kind of project, let's say it this way. And last but not least, yeah, what we have the biggest problem, I have the biggest problem, so I'm how to call this creative technologist. So I know how to play around with Web3 chess and stuff like this. But when it comes to LUKSO, I'm a little bit stuck. So let's say it this way, I'm a script kiddie, but a little bit more than a script kiddie. But for me, with LUKSO, you really need to be deep down in the trenches in terms of development. It's like easy things. If you try to build something with Web3 chess, you want to call the wallet, no, it always opens MetaMask and things like this. So there is, for that kind of level, no information available. I don't know if anyone is working to this or if anyone is eager to give me a quick wrap up on this, how this works. And yeah, we also do put the website online, Axolotl Friends, where there's more details. The drop will be most likely around East Denver in that kind of time frame. Thank you very much for your attention. See you soon again.
Thank you for coming on. That was great. I love the avatars. I love the slides that you made too, with like they got little things going on based on what's the slide.
Yeah.
Very cool. I mean, I love your thinking around a smaller drop at a smaller price. I agree with your feelings about Common Ground. I mean, the community building here is awesome. It's hard to grow on Twitter. It is not super hard to grow, at least within LUKSO in Common Ground. So I look forward to following along. Thanks for coming.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks everyone for coming. Loved hearing from Axolotl. Always love hearing from Marcus and Carlos, and great to hear from Sleepy too. That's my first time I've ever heard like the real pitch for their project, aside from consuming their content on Twitter. We will be back again next week for Lightning Talks. Our main guest next week is Jake Prinz from Universal Page. He'll be talking about some of their updates. And he'll be talking about that new Pro Pass that they got coming out. So we'll get some more information on that from the horse's mouth. As always, the man Rob G up here will get this recording edited and popped onto our YouTube, and we will make sure to tweet that out. If you enjoy reputation systems, hit the chat in the KEEZ Common Ground. It's been popping off lately. I think there's a lot of people with a lot of cool ideas around that stuff. All right, I'm ending it. Great talk, everyone. I look forward to seeing you guys next week.